It's time for the keys to life. And when I say keys to life, you say?
Keys to life.
When I see keys to life, you say?
Keys to life.
One more time. When I say keys to life, you say?
Keys to life.
There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, all right, all right. Number one, do it now. Do it now. Never put it off because many times you won't get to do it later. So many of us do this thing where we're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Then the whole day is going by. The report is due. The time is due. The day is, everything was supposed to be due. And you could have done it, but you just didn't do it right then, right now, when you remembered. If you do it early, later will never exist. Write that down. If you do it early, later doesn't exist. What do you mean by that? It means I don't have to do anything later. I don't have to work on it later. I don't have to figure it out later. I was texting, I'm not sure what number child it was. I was texting Carrie the other day, and I was like, well, what are you doing? She asked me what I was doing. I said, well, what are you doing? She said, I'm doing my spring packet. I said, spring packet is due. You know, you got to pack it early. She was like, I was going to get it out the way. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Just get it, what? Out the way. So you don't have to figure it out this week coming up. When y'all don't have school, it's done. It's over with. It's finished. One of the things that would benefit you is if you got your clothes out, if you got your food figured out, if you started marinating stuff, if you started working on stuff, you'll realize, it's so much work right now. Work while it is day. You figure this out. If you do it now, when everybody is resting, maybe you could rest. When you do it, and you don't have to, and you wake up late, won't make a difference if you woke up late. Why? Because your clothes is already ready, your lunch is already ready, your stuff is already ready. Won't make a difference if you forget 3 days in, because the report was done 3 days ago. I cram for hardly anything. After a while, you'll stop cramming for most things. Why? Because you've been doing it over and over and over and over again. And then when someone says, yo, I need you to go, and you say, oh, no, that was done yesterday. You're like, it was done yesterday? Yeah, it was already done. I did it. Finished over. And so it's a thing. It literally is what? A thing. Yesterday, I was about to tell Reg to go do something, and he did it, and I was like looking at him strange. And I didn't know why he did what he did, but he did it. And I was looking at him and looking at him leave, and I looked at him come back, and I was just like, all right, just leave it where it is, because it's done. But I don't know why, but he did it. So no one had to call him to do it. What I'm trying to get you to understand is it don't make it if you're 12 or 65. If you do it early, you don't have to do it later. If you don't like exercise, do it what? Early. So you don't have to do it what? Later. And so you've accomplished, and when you learn to accomplish things over and over and over again, you start to build a momentum where no one can stop you. Why? Because now you're telling other people the thing that you just learned, but you're pushing it, and you're pushing it. And people are like, well, I can't get that. No, you can. Now you all of a sudden, now you're like, no, you can get it done. You just got to do it first. The thing you don't want to do, you do that first. Because everybody loves to do the things that they what? Like to do. So if you do the things you don't want to do first, you don't matter because you're going to do the things you like to do anyway. That's like somebody say, you got to eat this so you can feel better. Well, eat it now. I eat it all. If I drink whatever I have to drink, I take it and I keep it moving. People are like, how do you keep on doing this? I don't think about it. Why? Because if I think about it, I'm going to think about all the reasons why I don't have to do it. You know, you give yourself excuses. The ones that you want to act like somebody was really righteous, it's not really righteous. You give yourself excuses so you don't have to do what you need to do in the first place. But if you don't give yourself excuses and you just do it, you don't think about it, it's done, it's over, and now we never had to talk about it. So let's move on to number what? 2. Accomplishments do not equal excellence or consistency. I know. Accomplishments do not equal excellence or consistency. Sometimes people get that confused. Because you got it done doesn't mean you did it well. Just because you finished doesn't mean you were amazing at it. I graduated from high school. I did not graduate in the top 10 or the top 50 or the top 100. My point is I did it, but I didn't do it well. What I want you to understand is that excellence and consistency will produce a better you, one to talk about. And everybody loves to be talked about in a good way, but it's the thing that produces because you continued down the line. You did it with a certain excellence, so people love the way you did what you did instead of just the fact that you did it. There's a lot of people that preach every Sunday morning. There's a lot of people that play the organ every Sunday morning. There's a lot of people that work audio video. There's a lot of people that are ushers. There's a lot of people that go to work every day. But not everybody get honorable mention. Not everybody's going to say, oh, man, I love the way you pressed that button. You did this, you did that, and how you did it, where you did it, and which way you did it. The way you gave that example to me, the way you did this, that, and the other. It's how you do something. Have you ever heard it's not what you said, but how you said it? So that's the whole thing. The excellence comes from the time within in which you do what you do. The consistency is the fact that you consistently come back to working on how you say what you say, how you do what you do, because you're not done being consistent. You're not done being what? Excellent. You will continue to do that until you die. But the progression of it is what makes the difference. How you do it, how I work with it. And I want to get to this level to where I dot all my I's and I cross all my T's. And so when you say it, it's not, oh yeah, I did it. But people say, who did that? When you do something, you want somebody to say, well, who did that? Because it looks so good. It was said so well, it was presented in a fashion, not, oh, it's just done. And I need you to get that because a lot of times, like, oh, I just made it to work. Well, congratulations on making it to work. But did you get there on time? Were you sitting where you were supposed to be sitting, doing what you were supposed to be doing? People are like, oh, you being real. That's being extra. It's not being extra. It's actually understanding the respect of time and understanding if you respect time, you'll actually get more out of time because you'll master time instead of time mastering you. And you'll get more time back instead of giving more time to, and everybody wants more time back. As you get older, you want more time, and you don't have more time, and the reason you don't have more time is because you never respected it in the first place. And the reason I say you don't respect it in the first place is because you can do more, you'll get more from it, and then you'll actually start to put things in motion in which it will have to come back to you, and you'll have more free time at the end. But that's different to an extent because it's the excellence in what you produce and the consistency now that will produce all the free time and later. So you have to understand just accomplishing something isn't how it works. It's just like if you say, somebody say, if you go to the gym and you have bad form, you end up getting what? Hurt. So you accomplished it, but you also accomplished a hernia. So you understand, you're trying to figure out why it's bad pain instead of what? Good pain. Because you're not sore, you're actually hurt. So when I say excellence and when I say consistency, you're consistently producing excellence, which brings a different lifestyle, which trains you and your body and your mind, and everything starts to work together for your good. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? All right, moving on. Third thing. The more you change, the bigger the difference between what and who you are familiar with. I'll say it again. The more you change, the bigger the difference between what and who you are familiar with or familiar to. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. You of 2010 and you of 2020 should be a very big difference. A huge, vast difference. You in 2017 and you in 2023 should be a huge difference. It doesn't make a difference how old you are because God is always what? Working on you and working with you and changing you and moving you and pruning you and pulling you. And so when God does that, the question is, how do you respond to what he does to you and in you? And the difference is that now he can do something he could not do with you before. The difference is that you can keep the wife and keep the husband when you couldn't keep them before. You can keep the job and you can keep the hustle when you couldn't keep it before. You can keep the friendship and you can keep, you understand what I'm saying? There's some things that you were going to lose if you don't do it, if you don't get it, if you don't fix it, if you don't work it, if you don't keep it. There's something different than if Zion throws me something right now and I catch it, I caught it. But to keep it, I have to hold it. I have to manage it. I have to work it. Because I can't keep it in my hand, so what do I do with it? I have to make now a decision. What's a safe place for it? Where's a workable place for it? Where's a good place for it? And so what sometimes we do that looks a little weird to us or doesn't, that just shows who we are is what God gave you in 2010. What would you have done with it versus what you would do with it in 2020? You should know who you are and who you would be then versus who you are and who you would be now. There's some people would say, oh, because the you before, you'd have just cursed them out. You'd have just done this. You'd have just done that. But now you look all weird. You acting all different. I don't know this person. Because I can't be who I was because that person is gone. I can't show God that I'm different if I'm not what? Different. So you have to see that there's the thing you would have done last week. Now, forget years. Now we on weeks. The thing you would have done last week is not the thing you're going to do this week because you aren't who you were last week. You see, today is a whole new day. So if you didn't have your life together on Friday and you didn't have your life together on Thursday, so you tell everybody Saturday went and Sunday is here. And when people look at you strange because you're doing something different, and you're like, why are you acting like that? Why are you getting your stuff together? Why you prepping stuff and you doing this? So don't look at me funny. I'm mastering time. I'm managing time. I'm different, and I want you to see that there's a vast. People think that you absolutely can. You absolutely can make a big difference between who you were last week and who you are this week. You want to know why? And I never preached this. I never said this before in my entire life. If you choose to change and you really mean it, you can stop everything you did. It may be hard. You may cry. You may not sleep. But you can literally be like, you know what? I'm going to put that down. I'm going to put that down because it's killing me. It's destroying my relationship. It's destroying my time. It's destroying what I used to do. I cannot afford to keep it, and so it stays in last week. It's a new week. It's a new me. And so what I'm trying to get you to understand is you don't look like, and people start to look at you, and don't worry about how they look at you, and when they look at you, and why they look at you the way they look at you, and why you act the way you act, and why you change the way you change. Just be different. Pull yourself away. Because you can really change, and the difference will be huge if you choose to change. If you choose to be different. If you choose not to say what you used to say, and how you said what you said, and how you did what you did. You used to be late all the time. You're not late no more. You early. There's a difference. What did we skip? On time. That's change. Consistency, and we go back to the second thing. Excellence and consistency says it's a new me. That's all it is a new me, because I'm no longer who I used to be. The power has always been in you. The authority has always been in you. What's different? The mind, the will, and the emotions. Let me explain. Last thing. The emotions have been managed because the mind said, it's got to stop here. And so your will says, I will continue to go this direction and move this and this and this and this, and nothing's going to stop me from having what I believe I can have, even if I'm tired, even if I have to shut up, even if I have to work harder, because I want what I want. And so how I feel right now does not make a difference, because I know I will feel better You gotta exercise. You gotta do certain things. You don't like what you see in the mirror, but if you want to like what you see in the mirror, you have to change all of this to get to here. If you want to keep what you have to change all of this to get to here. And it's not that you can't. It's not that you don't have the information. It's the fact that you have chosen to do something over and over and over and over with excellence to get you to where you want to go. And those are the keys to life.